In his book, The Lean Startup, author Eric Ries talks about this concept called pivot or persevere. The idea is that when things aren't going according to plan, people should take a step back, conduct an honest assessment of their situation, and decide whether the best thing for their business is to make a change or to double down on their current ideas. And I've been thinking about my own life as a series of these decisions, times when I've had to choose between pushing forward or walking away. And I want to share that story with you today. I grew up playing all sorts of team sports, football, basketball, baseball, soccer, you name it. But my relationship with sports hasn't always been steady. See, I've also dealt with knee issues ever since I was little. And I'll spare you most of the gruesome details, but here's my super scientific breakdown of what's going on. So this is an incredibly rough illustration of what your knees are supposed to look like. For most people, your kneecaps are supposed to sit right here, around the middle of the knee, so that they move nicely in this little groove up and down as you bend and move around. However, my knees look a little bit different. See, my kneecaps sit way higher and toward the outside of the knee than they're supposed to, and they like to move around a lot. As a result, I've suffered more dislocations than I can remember, lost pretty much all the cartilage that's in my knee, and was told that at 24 years old, I already have arthritis under my kneecaps. So as much as I've always loved sports, my knees definitely haven't. I played football my freshman year of high school and my knees didn't enjoy it. And when I took a helmet to the knee one day during practice, I reached a decision point. Did I want to keep putting my body through this, or was it time to make a change? Pivot or persevere? I pivoted. Sophomore year, I went all in on basketball and I loved it, but my knees still didn't. Hours and hours of practice daily were taking a toll on my knees. So eventually it was time for another pivot. But this time I didn't change sports entirely. I just had to scale back. So I switched to rec leagues and played with friends on the blacktop. I replaced the hours of practice with teammates with hours by myself in the weight room. And during my senior year, I put on almost 30 pounds of muscle and I was filled with motivation to keep going. When I started college, I spent a ton of time around the rec center, either playing basketball with friends or lifting weights. And that spring, I was finally feeling like I'd found a routine that worked for me. I was managing my knee pain, getting stronger, and loving getting to play basketball with my friends. And then COVID hit. This was more like a forced pivot. Gyms closed, people stayed home, and they even took down the hoops at some of the local basketball courts to try and keep people from gathering to play together. And when I went back for sophomore year of college, gyms were still closed. So I ended up picking up running. I had never actually run much before, or at least not with any regularity or structure, but I felt like I needed to get moving again. My knees definitely didn't enjoy it, but I did. I found new routines that worked for me, enjoyed the time outdoors, and absolutely loved seeing myself making progress. I wasn't training for anything in particular, but getting faster and going longer distances felt so rewarding to me. And then, without meaning to, I sort of pivoted one more time. When my junior year came around, I was putting so much on my plate that I was stretched completely thin, and exercise was the thing that I ended up cutting for time. So by senior year, I was desperate to get back to fitness and prioritizing my physical well-being. But without something to hold me accountable, I really struggled to make the sort of changes that I wanted to make. And that's when I found it, the Ironman. Someone from high school posted a picture of a family member competing in an Ironman race, and I was sold. In October of 2022, the day before my 22nd birthday, I signed up to do my first half Ironman the following June. For those of you who aren't as psychotic as I am, an Ironman is a triathlon. It starts with 2.4 miles swimming, followed by 112 miles on the bike, and you end your day with just a light marathon, 26.2 miles of running. So sure, I tried running before, but these distances were terrifying, and swimming and biking were entirely new to me. It was ambitious, but I was excited. In the months after signing up for that race, I signed up for and completed my first half marathon and Olympic distance triathlon. It was all so challenging, and I was loving it. So in June of 2023, I completed my first half Ironman. My main goal was honestly just to finish, but I was really deep down hoping to complete the race in less than 6 hours. Everything was going great up until the run. When the heat got to me, my watch died and I had no idea what my paces were looking like. My knees were hurting and I was struggling. So my goal was to finish in just under 6 hours, and I finished in exactly 6 hours and 2 minutes. Exactly 1 week later, I signed up for my next race. I was hooked. By the end of the following year, I had completed my first 3 half Ironman events, my first full distance Ironman race, which is something I never thought I would do, and a handful of smaller distance events throughout the years. The more detail-oriented among you might have realized that this story brings us to the end of 2024. So what about last year? Well, last year was especially challenging for me when it came to training. I had big goals for the year. I really wanted to keep building on the momentum from 2024, but as it always seems to do for me, life got in the way again. My knees were going downhill fast after that first Ironman, and then my wisdom teeth had to go. So when I was finally feeling recovered and ready to get back to training, I had back-to-back work trips come up that kept me from being as consistent as I wanted to be.
I am so very tired.
The first half of the year just flew by without any races at all, but I was still holding out hopes for the second half of the year when I planned to do my second full distance Ironman. My knee had other ideas. Starting in the summer, I was dealing with pain and swelling in my left knee for months. Whenever it seemed like things were improving, I would try a workout and it would all come crashing down again.
It's Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. I haven't run in a few weeks because of my knees, specifically the left one. Don't know what's going on.
I saw doctor after doctor to try and figure out what was wrong this time and, more importantly, what I could do to fix it and get back to the things I loved. They told me that there was arthritis under the kneecap, very little cartilage, and crucially, very little I could do without some form of procedure, which might not even solve my problems.
It's Saturday, September 27th, I think. Really been struggling with the knee for the last probably, 6, 8, something like that weeks now. Saw 2 doctors. Both just said it's pretty much destroyed. Last doctor I saw recommended a 1 to 2 year recovery, or an aggressive procedure with a 1 to 2 year recovery.
The doctors told me that all my endurance training shouldn't cause new damage, but it would continue to cause the same wear and tear that I had been putting on my knees for years. So, pivot or persevere. This time, I went in a different direction, and I had been working tirelessly to build up my knees and get ready for what I hope will be a big 2026 season of racing. See, I had fallen in love with the training, pushing myself every single day to get better and to achieve new goals. But there were other things that I fell in love with along the way, things that I wasn't expecting when I first started. The first was the sense of community that I found within these sports. The way that people support each other out there on race day was always so inspiring to me. And maybe it's the result of the shared suffering, but everyone out there is always trying to lift up other athletes around them, providing encouragement and supporting them in any way they can. There are tons of opportunities for social connection too. There are run clubs, group rides, or open water swimming events for people to bond over these sports and to push each other to be their best. The community elements have been so much fun to discover, but what I never would have predicted was the response from my own community of friends and family members. Listen, I'm far from the fastest athlete out there, but I do love to push myself and to share my progress with others. And what I didn't expect was that me pushing myself might inspire others to do the same. When I was training for that first half Ironman, I had a friend who had never prioritized exercise or fitness or anything like that tell me that he was going to try running for the very first time. And every time I saw him after that, he was so excited to share his progress, ask me questions, and tell me all about his challenges and goals that he was dealing with. Over the next couple of years, I helped many more friends find the joys of endurance sports, of challenging yourself, working towards your most ambitious goals, and getting a little bit better each and every day. I've helped people finish their very first races, from running events to triathlons and so much more, and there has been nothing more rewarding than helping those around me. Which brings me to my latest pivot, and maybe my biggest pivot yet. If you watched my first video, you know I walked away from my job in professional sports to try and start something myself. And if you're new around here, hi, I'm Alex, and I'm taking 300 days to try my best to build a new life for myself, to rediscover my love for creating, to start my own business, and to document and share the whole process. I hope you'll subscribe here and follow along on Substack too. These first few weeks of trying have involved a ton of building and planning, laying the foundation for this business and putting together all of the moving parts to create the best product I possibly can. And today, I'm excited to share exactly what it is I'm trying to build. Introducing Aeros Training. I want to share the joy I found in endurance training with as many people as I possibly can. I remember when I was first starting out how intimidating everything felt and how much I didn't understand. The only solution for me felt like signing up to train with a coach who could show me the ropes, answer my questions, and help me build training plans that accommodated my hectic schedules and my very problematic knees. But one-on-one coaching can be very expensive, and that's just one of the many barriers people face when they first take interest in endurance training. There can be so many moving parts, and it can be a lot to manage, even working with a coach. And so, As a data scientist who's working on becoming a certified coach myself, I decided to do something about it. I'm building a personalized fitness platform for endurance and hybrid training for beginners, experienced athletes, and everyone in between. Aeros will feature adaptive training plans, support from real certified coaches, and a growing community of athletes designed to help you get healthier, stronger, and more consistent over time. And I want to make it all available at a fraction of the cost of existing apps and coaching services. I want to help people be as healthy as they can be. And my long-term goal for this is to make it the center of everyone's health and fitness training. From running to triathlons, from mobility work to strength training. I really want Aeros to be your home for everything related to endurance and hybrid training. But we're starting with exactly the thing that my knees hate the most. The first version of Aeros is being built to help people exactly like the friends I've helped. People who are new to all this or who just need some guidance and support along the way. I'll help you train for any distance race, from your very first 5K to a full-on ultra marathon. Or if you don't feel like signing up for a race just yet, I'll help you build a solid foundation with running and optional strength and mobility work too. Aeros is designed to work around you, to show you the ropes and support you, just like a coach would. And today, I'm inviting you to help shape the platform from day one. I'm still at the very beginning of this journey, and before I release Aeros for everyone, I want to do everything in my power to make it the best I possibly can, and that's where I need your help. If you're interested in challenging yourself, getting healthy, and helping me build something that I hope will help so many more, please consider signing up for our waitlist at aerostraining.com or at the link in the description down below. I'm getting ready to start privately testing the app and collecting as much feedback from real users as possible. If you sign up for our test, you'll get access to the closed test for zero cost whatsoever. All I ask is for you to take the leap, to challenge yourself, and to give me some honest feedback along the way. I'll do everything in my power to help you achieve your goals, and I hope you'll help me achieve mine too. So yeah, pivot or persevere. It's a concept rooted in entrepreneurship, but I've been thinking about my life as a series of these pivot or persevere decisions. There have been so many times where I struggled with the idea of whether the best thing for me was to keep pushing or to walk away. Some of the biggest challenges in my life have taught me when to pivot, but endurance sports have taught me how to persevere. I've also been giving a lot of thought about what my purpose in life might be. What's my why for wanting to start a business in the first place? And I found the Japanese concept of ikigai, the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. And I believe that my purpose, my ikigai, might be to help people get healthier, accomplish their craziest goals, and find joy in endurance. I get it. It might sound crazy, but hey, I might as well try.